click on the record. So
Can I just say something really quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
It's the South Dakota Chislic Festival, which happens in July, and the name of the bar is Hoots, Hootz.
Thank you.
And the owner's name is Jay.
Okay.
All right, Jay, I'm gonna tell him Liz sent me.
That's right.
Love it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay. So for today, yes, ma'am.
I might have to go grab something to my lunch, but I'll eat it very quietly because I have a meeting right after this.
I actually was thinking, Liz, that this is a good training for you because when we did onboarding several months ago, you were resistant to this. So now that there's only 2 of you on this call, yes, you are. As soon as I tell you what it is, you're going to be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And we're going to talk a little bit about why. So today's training is about reputation management. And essentially, while that sounds big and fancy and fluffy, it's really not. Oh, what it is simple automations and also integrations that are built into your system with the function of allowing you to automate the process of collecting testimonials and raving fans. So when someone has something good to say about you, we want that stuff to show up on Google. So interactive. When was the last time you got on Google and checked the reviews of a company before buying a product?
Yesterday.
Always.
About 4 hours ago.
I'm not on Google reviews, and I won't put myself on Google reviews.
So thus the resistance. So here's the issue with saying that. And Liz, you get to do what you do, but we integrate with Google first and foremost because it is the #1 source for where people go to check reviews. The other thing that's great about Google reviews is that Google is going to do their part to monitor for authenticity and to make sure that people that are leaving reviews. So here's an example of an area where reviews are managed and an area where they're not. And Liz, I'll use you as a really good example. With Google, you can't just create a random fake account and just start spamming people's Google accounts. It won't work. Like, they won't actually allow you to do that. Google checks the review before it ever shows up and is live online. Whereas Facebook also collects reviews. And if you go and look at your Facebook reviews in particular, your reviews have absolutely nothing to do about you or your business. It's basically a bunch of spam about people telling other people that they should invest in cryptocurrency. So Facebook does not, and Flagshooter may very well have the same exact thing happening. But what happens is Facebook and a lot of other companies they don't have enough oversight for how those things are managed. So they basically create this tool and say, yes, our businesses should use this to create transparency, blah, 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 blah. But then they don't oversee it. And so what makes it even harder for Facebook is most of the time, businesses don't even have the ability to see the reviews that are posted on the page, which makes it completely useless. It doesn't take somebody more than 15 seconds to look at your Facebook reviews to be like, okay, clearly these guys have been spammed. You know what I mean? So now it doesn't mean anything. So they're going to go and search somewhere else anyway. So Yelp has lost its trustworthiness because people were hired to go and leave reviews. Amazon is going to verify purchasers. Google is going to verify account holders. Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, and a lot of those other companies, they don't have the mechanism in place for review integrity. So, or essentially reputation management. So that's why I would say, I would really encourage you to consider putting your business on Google and allowing people to leave positive reviews. But the key to it is not just leaving it up to willy-nilly, but also to be specific about like going after your guests after an event, going after a Flagshooter buyer after they make that purchase. Don't let them be the ones to say, you know what, I had a great experience, I'm going to go and leave a review, because that's nine times out of 10 not when people leave reviews. They leave reviews when they're pissed. So statistics say that it takes 11 positive reviews to outweigh 1 negative review. And there's also, we wrote a blog about this not too long ago about the fact that negative reviews are not bad. They're actually good for your business as well, because it's showing it's telling you the things that you can truthfully do well in your business. But the other thing it's doing is it's showing with transparency that you're not perfect. and that you're not paying people to go and leave positive reviews. And that be the only thing that there is. So if you have a little bit of balance in your hundreds of reviews, it's not the end of the world. If somebody leaves you a negative review, you have the ability to respond. You have the ability to say, okay, this is what we're doing to correct this issue. Or in this instance, we had unforeseen circumstances. A fluke blizzard came through Skamania and prevented us, so whatever may have happened that somebody's going to leave a comment about something that's completely out of your control, you do have the ability to respond. And oh, by the way, that response also counts in the eyes of another prospective buyer, because it's showing that you engage with the people who are providing you feedback. So all of those things, there's tons of research out there that supports putting your business on Google, putting or leaving the testimonials in the hands of your buyers. It supports, don't put yourself in the position of only collecting positive reviews, although I do have automation, and we built this for Flag Shooter in particular to, so when someone leaves when somebody buys a Flag Shooter, so here's how it works in Crystal's world. So Flag Shooter, this nifty little proprietary doodad that shoots utility marking flags into the ground. There's not a whole lot of companies that do anything that's even remotely similar. So they're pretty unique. Some utility company like 811 Albuquerque goes and buys a whole bunch of flag shooters and flags from Flag Shooter. They have a system in place so that when someone makes that purchase, if they're a new customer, they're going to go through a series. And the first thing that they get is a survey. That survey is a one email. It's literally says, we'd love to know what you think. That email is those are literally the words. Talking about it's fewer than 9 words. And then it's 3 pictures: happy face, neutral face, frowny face. And then depending on which one of those faces you click determines the follow-up. So if you give a happy face, now we're going to ask you for a Google review. So it doesn't take any effort on their part to do anything. They don't have to read any sort of long email. It was so amazing that we got to spend this time together, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down. There's no brain power involved in that. So all they have to do is click the link. And then so if they click the neutral face or the frowny face, it can even go to the same page. Thank you so much for your feedback. We really appreciate it. But depending on what they said, you give them a different experience. So if you do want to really control the experience, or who goes to your Google page and leaves a review because you've asked, maybe you only send the people who give the smiley face or the thumbs up. But if they give you a frowny face or a neutral face or a thumb in the middle and a thumb down, you give a task reminder to an account representative, a salesperson whose sole job is to make sure that satisfaction is made. So if something is not right, they're you know what, the Flag Shooter just, my flags got bent as it's stuck in the ground. Oh, by the way, I bought the Flag Shooter that also doesn't have a tool to allow me to take them out. So now I still have to bend over and remove them from the ground. So Crystal says, well, we have an easy fix for you. We actually have a Flag Shooter that also helps you pull them out of the ground. That's true, right, Crystal?
It is not.
Oh, I thought there was. For some reason, I thought you guys had one that has a little mechanism that pulls them out too.
No, it sounds like a good idea. I would ask about it because we're all about innovation. So maybe that's one of the things in work. So
tell Paul, stick something on the side of the little device that allows him to stick it in there and pull it out. Because when I first learned about you guys, we were in Arizona where the ground was super rock hard. And I'm like, this would be amazing because I bet it's not fun sticking flags into the Arizona ground, which brings Liz back into this conversation because she lives in Scottsdale. So, and her ground is rocks. So there you go. So my point though is, let's say they've got this thing hey, I still have to do this thing. So your product works, but it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's only it's like cool bread. You know what I mean? It's not great bread. Or maybe it's broken. Maybe there's some sort of manufacturer defect, but you're not going to know unless you follow up with them. So the neutral face and the frowny face, you're going to give somebody a nudge to pick up the phone and call. You can take them on a different experience on web pages. Smiley face, they go straight to leave a Google review, and neutral face and frowny face, they go to a feedback form that says, tell us what went wrong or tell us how we can do better, and then whatever sort of personalized follow-up. So you do have the ability to create essentially a gate between you and your buyer and your Google business page. If you want to, you know, do a little bit more to filter and be strategic about who is leaving those Google reviews. Does that make sense? What do you think?
I'm seriously considering it.
That's good.
I mean, I've been in business for 27 years and I've never done it because I've always been afraid of, you know, every so often we'll get some right-wing Christian people who will, not that there's anything wrong with Christians people, but we'll get people who vehemently disagree with us and think our work is the work of the devil and blah, blah, blah. And we'll get disgruntled people.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute. So if your ideal client goes to your Google page and sees a bunch of things about how you're going to hell because you believe that rocks heal people, do you think that your ideal buyer is going to be like, that person's weird? Or are they going to be like, so they're not speaking, like they're not even speaking the language of your buyer.
Yeah,
so they're not speaking the language of your company, but they're not speaking the language of your buyer either.
I would have a really hard time if somebody left a bad review about me. And right now I've pissed a few people off. I would have a very, very, very hard time with anybody leaving a bad review. You know, that whole thing that happened with Annika, you look so cute. You know, I had this whole thing happen with Sunny, and one of her staff members went on Facebook and started to bash me.
Right.
Staff is that.
And she's in the industry.
Oh, that.
I mean, I think there's times where that stuff is going to happen. I would certainly say, you know, take those pieces and into consideration when you decide whether or not this is something that you want to do. My personal thought is that your Google business page is not a place for disgruntled employees to be spouting off their, you know, their opinions or that sort of thing. It's really about, for you, it's about the experience. You know, it's about you, what kind of experience are you creating at your events for the people who are coming and attending over and over and over again. And that's one of the things that really stands out to me, is that you have diehard committed customers who will not miss an event. And I think that their voice could probably speak a lot louder than, you know, somebody who feels threatened or, you know, heard something from somebody else, because, you know, so on and so forth.
Do we have control on Google? Because unfortunately, one of the few negative ones we do have is from an ex-employee. And like, I know it's just there. It's been there for years. It's not current or anything like that, but it is there. And I always wondered and I've looked on the back end, you know, isn't there an option that we should see as admins to show or not show, or do they all just need to show and we could just only, I mean, because it's just there. I think that's probably what Liz is worried about. Like,
so here, I'll put this link in the chat window, and so just for anybody who chooses to go back and watch this at a later time, I Googled, can you contest a Google review? And this particular help article is how to remove Google reviews from your profile on Google. And specifically what it does is there's a button you can press, and it's to request a review removal. Don't try to say that.
Oh, okay. So there is a process. Okay.
I do have to say though that Google is extremely difficult to work with, extremely difficult, and their response time is horrible.
I think that stuff ebbs and flows as well, because I've had bad experiences and I've had amazing experiences. So it really depends on staffing.
Jeff, we spent 6 or 7 months trying to verify Jeff. They kept saying, oh, we need a picture of your door. Oh, we're going to send you a postcard. We're going to send you a postcard. We're going to send you a postcard. We never received a postcard. I was on the line fighting with this woman. I did a video interview with this woman. I showed her that Jeff was in the office. I showed her his medical equipment. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And finally, Tanya figured out how to do it. Tanya, our champion.
And that's what I was going to say, was it really, sometimes like, I would say don't allow those, you know, those instances to be the naysayer. When I lived in Denver, I tried to set up a Google business account and was never successful. And they did the whole postcard thing over and over again, never got the postcards. And then at some point when we reestablished in Virginia, so a few years ago, I tried again because I wanted to do better. at having that business profile on that public page and collecting reviews, and it was effortless. So just like Facebook is going to update their algorithms every other minute, and their how you create ads, like everything is constantly changing. So I think they do hear that feedback. Sometimes it gets better, sometimes it gets worse. They fix one problem and break another. So I would say give it a try if you're open. But because the thing, like ultimately it comes down to, and I don't work for Google and they don't pay me any money to do this. All I'm saying is it's the #1 place people go. So if you want to increase the transparency and the ease of buying for your prospective buyer, make it easy for them to see exactly what it's like to work with you, what your products and services are like, what is the experience like, because that's going to help them know whether or not you're a legit business. If there's nothing, all that does is increase skepticism.
I don't disagree with this. I don't disagree with this.
And I know you're not alone in terms of some people are like very protective about their personal data or this or that. And at the end of the day, I would really encourage anybody who's still on the fence to think about, what does the absence of information look like to that buyer? Yeah. Does it make you look like a legitimate business? Does it make you look like a scam? Does it make you look like you're not serious about the work that you do? So we can say that we're not going to drink the Kool-Aid and we're going to go against the flow, but ultimately all we're doing is making it harder on ourselves.
Okay. I'm going to seriously consider it.
Okay. So from this point forward, what we're going to talk about then is how you actually do that. So I promised in my little text message and my Facebook post and stuff that you can literally launch this in under an hour. Your apps already include the resources to make it happen. So let me make sure that I'm logged into the correct account. I like to accidentally use our actual account that we use for deploying stuff into people's account, and that tends to break things. So I'm going to use the demo account.
Oops,
all right.
You need me full screen. I don't want to exit full screen. There we go. Wait a
second. Okay. So #1 is, if you've not already connected to your Google business page, you're going to want to do that. So you can do that from your Launchpad. So on your Launchpad, this will say connect. So just like this says connect here, I'm running out of samples here because I've done this a couple times. So you connect by clicking on the connect button, and you'll log into whatever the login is for your Google business account. So for us, I'm 99% sure it's not my Confluence email, it's my Christy Northfleet email. I don't remember why it is that way, but what you can do to save trouble is log in on a separate tab to the Google business account. So Crystal, do you want to do that right now? Are you already?
I am linked. My Google already has a check on it.
Okay. So once you've done that, so the other place that you can do this, so if you don't want to do it from the Launchpad, any opportunity to continue to give you guys tour around the system is always a good thing. So the other thing that you can do is click on settings and click on integrations. And your Google settings are also here. So Google business page, you can change the page, remove the page.
Can I see yours? Can we go and look at yours?
Yes. So here's my reviews. So this is my page.
Do I have a review on there? Did I put a review?
I think you did.
I need to give you a review. Oh, see, Bob did.
Yeah, Bob did twice, and there's
okay,
Liz.
Good.
Last year, yep. The one thing that I don't like is that it will not allow you to use a PO box. So that's a little bit difficult for me. I'm not a fan of that.
And you got verified? How did you get? You got verified? Okay.
Because of the physical address. Annika, are you raising your hand? Oh no, she's just stretching.
Annika has pretty purple and blue lights all around.
I know she does. Are those grow lights though? They look like my grow lights. Oh.
Last year we bought them for growing seeds in February because we were really excited, but they are a good ambiance. It looks like a flower.
Yeah, no, I have plants back there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are real.
Those are big. Those are gorgeous. I'm a plant person.
Oh.
Christy, question.
Yes.
So I am integrated, but there is a X on my my Google thing that says GMB call tracking is disabled. GMB messages are not configured. What is that? Is that something I need?
For you, no, actually, because you're using the voice over IP.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
Thank
going
you.
to go directly to your doodad.
Okay.
So if I want to edit my profile, I don't remember how I logged in. So like myself, when in doubt, try all of the different emails and passwords, because this is one of those things, like, you know, our business has been around for 9 years. So the Google business account or business page was started like 9 years ago, even if it wasn't verified and all of that stuff. And so things had changed, and the way the dynamics and rules, kind of like Facebook would have a business page and then a fan page and then a this page. So that's why I can't remember, but other people may have their own challenges as to why it is that way. But you can come in here and edit from here. You can come in here and make changes to your hours or your holidays and all of that kind of good stuff. And then also review and reply to emails from the business page itself. But the nifty thing is, once you've connected the actual Google business page to your account, we're going to click the go back button, and we're going to click on this thing here called reputation. She's kind of an unsung hero. So this is where all of your reputation management is collected and captured. And I am going to show you our business page so you can see what it looks like with actual activity in here.
This is so hard to follow.
So I'm in your primary navigation, and I clicked on reputation. So I called this training reputation management because that's what it's called inside your system. It's really like, that's a pretty name for testimonials and reviews. Okay. And so in your little testimonial reputation dashboard, you've got a nifty little thing here that helps you with like setting goals, like, hey, how many requests can you send out? You can send requests to leave a Google review manually, and you can also create automation behind that. So the story I gave early on with Flag Shooter, where they do the happy face, frowny face, neutral face, and then they send the testimonial, that's fully automated. So when somebody buys a Flag Shooter, then they can, once they get through that first email, they're going to get that request to leave a testimonial or a review. Now, what that looks like, it can be fully customized, but you can see and track and monitor those reviews here on your dashboard. So in here, we can see like your ups and your downs based on like people's feedback, but we also get who are the people that you've asked and what are the most recent reviews. And when someone leaves a review, you actually have the ability to reply in your conversations. So when someone leaves a review,
oh, you don't have to go into Google review. You can do it right from automation.
correct. And I don't know, I think Allison Zuba might have been the last one. Yep. Okay. So here's what it shows up looking like. So it came into my conversation, and I happen to have been sitting here on my computer, and I responded, and this response is showing up live as a reply to her review. So I don't have to go to Google to make that happen. This is all happening inside the system. So reason number 497 about why you should be using reputation management in your automation on a mission. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Hi.
And the question is, do people, so let's say we sign up for Google reviews and I send a request out to 10 people and all 10 people say, yes, I'm going to do it. And they all do it on the same day. Does that send up a red flag to Google that reviews have been happening on the same day?
I don't think so, because you're basically all you did was was make an effort and start.
Okay.
So a lot of people that do what I do, so like when I do training, I'm really passionate about getting people like automating scheduling a consult and reconnecting with old leads. A lot of people will start with reputation management, going and asking for testimonials from their lapsed customers, because it's a great way to re-engage with old customers. So think about it not just from the perspective of getting like a little bit more transparency and engagement online, but it could also be a way of like reigniting interest from somebody who hasn't bought from you in a long time.
Okay.
Hey, Christy,
Yes, ma'am.
can we put it on a list for you and I to look at my setup later this week? Because I can't believe I'm not sure if customers are actually getting what's set up. I'm not sure
Okay.
they're getting it.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right,
So,
thanks.
okay, so somebody leaves a review, it comes into the conversations, you can respond quick and easy. So going back to the reputation part of our navigation, like I said, we got some fun dashboard stuff. So let's look at what the settings look like to get this set up.
Oh, Christy,
So,
you should ask Tanya to leave a review also.
I'm sorry.
I just realized I was trying to think of how you can get more reviews than Tanya.
Yeah, absolutely. So in here, you can generate a link. And but none of this stuff works until you're connected to your actual Google business page. But what happens is, how does this look different? So this is not actually, there's got to be some cookies happening at the moment because this is actually set up for us.
Aren't you in your test one though?
I switched over.
Oh, okay.
So because I bounce around from
Oh gosh, it's so fast.
Yeah, it drives Annika crazy. This is telling me I need to clear my cookies because all this is definitely set up. Okay, so in my little settings, I clicked on
two
the
tabs open, and you've got 2 tabs open, so we're probably stepping on each other's feet.
yeah. Well, and those are the 2 that you can see. There's a whole nother window that's got more because I like to copy and paste. Yeah. Anyways, so when you click this generate the link, it shows up in here. So, and what happens then is you're able to send a review request, and I can say Annika. And what's going to happen is if I choose her phone number, then it's going to text her the request to leave a review. If I put her email in here, then it's going to send her an email. And then what it sends is actually what's showing up in the preview here. So you get to create the custom settings for a text message here and an email here.
So we could put in a special email though.
Yes.
So you don't have to do the same email all the time to the person.
Well, so this is intended for automation. So you want this to be an email that you can send to everyone. So I'm going to say, thanks so much for working with us. Would you be so kind to recommend us? And then it's automatically going to put my my Google business link in here.
Oh, see, I would want to put in a special message, because what I would want to do is say, hi, Susie. Would you please, write a Google review? Here's what you wrote about us for the Scamania event.
Mm-hmm. So for the sake of going back and retroactively doing that, I think that's a great approach. What we're trying to talk about here is how do you do this and automate it? So if you're going to automate it, then you want to make this message universal. So that way it's applicable for all scenarios and all settings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't have to automate it.
You don't have to, but if you personalize every single message, then you're just making it a little bit harder on yourself. Okay. So step 1 is to connect your Google business page. The remedial step is to create your Google business page. So if you haven't created a Google business page, do that first. Then you come in here into your integration settings and connect to your Google business page. Step 2 is to come into the review section. Reputation, and click on this little cog. And this is where you can generate your Google link and where you can customize the message that goes to all of your text messages and goes to all of your emails. And then when you're done, it's all good to go, ready to rock and roll. Step 3, you're going to go to automations. And I need it to look like yours. Testimonial review request.
Mhm.
Now, of all of your automations, this automation is different because it's not using our traditional email templates and text message templates. It's using the templates that are built inside the reputation section of your app. So that's why I spent so much time talking about that reputation stuff. So we're going to see right here. So our trigger, new customers added, opportunity is marked as 1. You could make whatever trigger you want be the thing that starts them in here. And then you also decide what's the timeline. So the trigger starts them, they become a new customer, they make a purchase, whatever the circumstances might be. And then for the sake of my example here, for the sake of the automation, we're going to give them 2 weeks to try out your product, service, event, experience, so on and so forth. So Liz, for you as an example, if you are selling tickets to Scamania, you may choose to change this timeline to like 2 days and then have a manual tag you apply to all of your registrants. So that way you don't ask for a review until after they leave the event and they're high on life. Versus if you wait and you do like a customer tag or a registration tag, you're asking them to leave a review for an event they haven't participated in yet.
Well, what I would do, and this is a little sneaky, is that we send out feedback forms with specific questions. And I would send these requests to only the people that gave us stellar reviews.
Right. So that's not sneaky, it's strategic. So it's no different than Flag Shooter using the thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down. So, and you follow up differently for the people who say, you know, they've got constructive feedback for you than you do with the people who've got wonderful rave reviews.
Okay.
And the thing is, and this is both a good thing and a crummy thing, we're past the era of you copying and pasting reviews from feedback forms into Google. They have to do it for you. So this is how you do that.
Got it.
So you decide what your timeline is, but one way or another, yours is, you know, 14 days is probably not great because that's 2 weeks after an event or 2 weeks after they buy, and that could have been 2 months before the actual event. So that's not good.
I mean, it's hard because it's after the purchase, it could be months and months and months, right? Exactly.
But you do have really good metrics and tracking for when somebody is attending an event. So use that and, you know, use your automation specific to that. You might even have 2 versions of this, one for people who buy things from your boutique and another for people who attend events. So there's different ways that you can interact with this. So you've got your timer. Next, we have send review requests. So notice that there's not a lot of activity over here. And what this is it's basically telling us it's going to send the template that we created in the reputation section of our app. So the stuff that we just went through, that's what it's going to do. It's going to send the text. And you can see here, the little helper text says, configure your review request message in the reputation settings. If I click on this, it's going to take me back to that little cog.
Okay, but I can, how do I say this? I can go in and do it personalized to a person.
Yes, and we'll talk, let's talk about that separate. And
Okay.
so give me just 1 minute for that, or a couple minutes for that. Okay, so our first thing after our timer that we get to choose and customize based on the nature of the business we do, then we're going to send a text message. We're going to wait an hour and we're going to send an email. Any guess as to which one of these is more successful?
Text.
Email?
Is
Text is more, okay.
Yep, text is more efficient. I actually almost started working with a company. They were going to charge me a lot of money, so I didn't do it. But their whole business model was all they did was help businesses collect testimonials, and it was 100% text.
Oh, wow.
No email. So I don't exactly know why people pay them lots of money to do it, because you can literally do it inside your own system. So email an hour later, I'm sorry, text, email, text, out, wait an hour, email, wait 1 week. And then if they haven't left the review, then we're going to repeat that process all over again.
Got it.
Sometimes people need a little extra work. You can actually close this window. You think about how often you get, you know, a lot of aggressive nudges. Maybe, Liz, for you, it might be 2 days, because you want to get people when they're still feeling that euphoric feeling after an event. And I would say that if you're waiting a week, they're coming off the high. So, consider how you might condense that timeline.
Okay,
And if
good.
they do leave the review, then they get the email that says thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's if they leave the review, even if it's 2 minutes after the text is sent, right? Anytime that they respond to that text or email, it jumps to the thank you
Exactly.
email, right?
Yep. Yes. So let's recap. Remedial step, create a Google business account.
Okay.
Step 1, connect your Google business account to your automation on a mission account. We do that in the integration section. Step 3, we go to the reputation section of our app. And we click on the little cog. Generate a link. Make our cute little text message. You can put a picture in here if you want, like a rocket or something. Create your little email. Save all your changes. Go to your automations. Find number 8, testimonial review request. And if you like all the things that you turned on in your reputation settings, then all you have to do in here is adjust your timers to meet your needs, publish, and save. That's it.
Wait,
Oh, actually, and I forgot trigger. So trigger, timers, publish, save.
and that's
Trigger.
workflows, right, Christy?
Workflows, yes. Automations, workflows.
Automation, then workflows. Okay. Let's figure that out.
Automation, is that like for all workflows, trigger? Wait.
Yeah, so
say-
in your automation section, the only thing that's in here is workflows. So I use these two terms synonymously, and I'm super proud of myself that I've almost completely eliminated the word campaign from my vocabulary.
Well,
Okay.
that's a whole other question I have because I just went blank on that one. Okay.
Yeah, so because you're both previous Keep users, automations slash workflows are they're the same thing in our world here. It's the same thing, one and the same. Okay. It's also one and the same with what you know previously as campaigns. So this
Got
is
it.
where magic happens.
Oh, workflows is campaigns, but campaigns in automation. I'll do this later with you.
Okay, automations, workflows, and campaigns are all the same.
No, because campaigns are different in automation than it
Campaign-
was Keep.
Campaigns,
Campaigns are like email broadcasts.
no, well, no, campaigns can be email broadcasts, they can be tasks, they can be text messages, they could be shopping carts, they could be lots of things. You like to only use the emails. So in Keep, an email broadcast is a single one-off email.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I would say from my experience with other systems, the vocabulary, the terms that we use here are more universal with other systems. Whereas Keep, I think, had some of their own, like what they called a campaign was actually an email broadcast in other systems. So I think it adds a little extra confusion.
Does somebody have something buzzing on this on your end?
No,
I don't hear anything.
It's in my office, maybe. Okay.
any questions?
No, not on that.
So my last
looking at-
little push for you is you get to have these little, like you don't get to customize it. It's kind of set for you, is that, the goal is to, let's get 20 reviews, but you do get to follow your little, your little progress here. So I would set a goal for yourselves and see how many reviews you can get.
Okay.
Which is why I want to
to
talk
all
to
of
you.
my friends first.
Mhm. Yeah.
And Christy, I'm noticing on my workflow that if there are customers at a certain stage, like wait 15 days and send on a weekday, it gives a count with a little guy next to it. So that it'll be like, so there's 39 people that's at that step,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so yeah, So after I set up my automation and my reputation text format, I should test it by sending it to myself, right?
Yeah, or you can test it and send it to me and I'll leave you a review.
Okay, and then after that test, it should definitely be set up to go into the automatic workflow. My only concern where I want to meet with you is because I got people at these different stages, and we sent, since you put it together, it says that sent over 230 something, review requests, but not one has responded.
Okay, so let's take a look at that because I feel like I'm also seeing people leaving reviews. So
Really?
yeah, I can't remember where, but I saw, so I have to go back around and look. But I saw, like, I was like, well, that's working because I was seeing something.
What's your company? Let's go look at the front end. How do we say the company again?
For me?